105 North Avenue 52.
Prepare to be fucked by the objects of the law.
This isn't happening. Everyone look away, please. Nothing to see here.
You can't break those cuffs.
Make him away, Ty.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I'm Officer Kevin.
And I'm Officer Grant.
How you doing, Grant?
I'm chilling. The kids, they say that they're vibing. They've found a vibe and they're vibing in that vibe. And that's me right now. I'm vibing away.
I'm also vibrating, if you couldn't tell. We'll talk about that later. Let's give a thank you to our guest from last week, Sophia Smar and Desk Crew.
That's close enough.
Yeah. Give it my best shot there. And let's give a warm welcome to a returning champion to the show. That's right, everybody. We got the one, the only, Charls Carroll. How are you, Charles?
Hey, am I under arrest? Hey, thanks for having me, boys. I really appreciate it. It's always a privilege for me to come out and be social instead of being a complete gremlin. I'm really happy. I'm happy to have been here last time. I'm happy to be here tonight. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, it's always, I take, in times like these, I take every single chance I can get not to be a gremlin of some kind because it's so easy to fall into the gremlin trap. Stay inside, stay closed off, do what you can to survive. But at the same time, you gotta have moments like these to just revel in it, you know?
Oh yeah, you have to. And you guys were saying you were vibing, you were becoming vibrational. I thought you guys been listening to some Monroe tapes. You've been listening to some remote viewing and some out of body stuff. You guys been going full Monroe Institute.
We're working on it, you know.
Been listening to a lot of Terrence McKenna lately, trying to open my mind.
Yeah,
you have
third
to open
eye
your
kind
mind.
of bullshit, you know.
Yeah. I mean, look all around you. How everything is. I mean, it's been this way for so long. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, what is there to say about it? I mean, you look at the news. That's first of all, that's your first mistake. But I mean, you look at the news today, and you see missiles, and you'll say, "Hey, this isn't King missile. This isn't detachable penis. We're talking about. We're talking about real missile. Well, I mean, allegedly, you're not there. You're not there. You don't know what's going on. But
we don't know. You're right.
Yeah,
it could be.
You look in the news, and
we don't know.
There's war, and you're like, oh, it's like this is great. This is a great time to be alive, and you don't need to worry about it. And I'm not even sure if there was any lockdown issues. I mean, it feels like it's been happening for so long. I mean, I've been living my life completely normally. I pretend like it's not happening, so I really can't count the time. But most people, they sort of have a level of seriousness about it. But me, look, I mean, I'll go outside and I'll die right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, for real. The day that I go outside and that I'm afraid to breathe is the day that I've already said goodbye to life. I'll say I'll breathe out there and I'll die right in someone's face. I don't give a damn. I'm not afraid of that.
Well, Charles, we do care about you, my man.
Well,
we don't want to. We hope you don't croak on the episode.
Yeah, I'm speaking figuratively, but I'm not. Look, I'm not afraid of the invisible. Let me just put it that way. I'm not afraid to breathe the air outside. It's really the last thought on my mind. I go out there and I say, oh, it's a good day. I look at everyone. I say, oh man, everyone's wrecked. I mean, why? Whatever. What can I do? I could try to put a smile on their face, and I mean, that's really what I kind of do as a job. I try to put a smile on my own face, of course, and everyone else's face is sort of just icing on the cake.
And that's a great segue, Charles, because, you've brought so many smiles and laughs to all people over the years.
So much mirth.
Yeah, so much mirth. $1 Million Extreme, World Peace, Bomb Strap, Charles World, just to name a good handful, as well as twitch.tv/Charls Carroll. You're on there, man. You're making it happen. You're bringing smiles and laughter and mirth to all the wonderful children's faces.
You have to.
Every single day. You have to.
You have to.
You're right.
And I know I appreciate it. And I've been doing this for many years, and it's been wild. And I spend a lot of time on let's say Twitch, and I do a lot of wild stuff on there. And there is the mirth, there is the mirth, there are the smiles, but lately I've been really going for some stuff that really doesn't exactly put a smile on your face. Like some of the things we've been watching, some of the topics we've been talking about, I really had to get down in it. And just but every frown, I mean, you can turn it into a smile if you want to, but we've been getting into the mirth, but also the real stuff, the real stuff that people have to understand, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever you are. So it's just my recent memory is of some of the streams is really, I mean, there are plenty of smiles, but they're also very, very powerful. I mean, I don't want to say good. Well, I mean, good, of course, but just heavy topics, heavy themes. I mean, crushing themes that I'm on here, I'm on there, everyone's on there, everyone's in chat, and we're dealing with it. There are a few times I actually did look away. But I mean, usually, you usually can't look away. But actually, sometimes you actually have to if you're watching a movie that
man.
beat your bag, your bean bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have to have the heavy. I mean, not everything is sunshine and candy canes, unless it comes a point in every man's life where he gets a candy cane jammed right up his ass. Doesn't matter how sweet it is. So it's just one of those things.
Well, that's great, man. I know, you've been super active on there, and I know, it is what it is, everything going on.
Yeah.
But we're happy to have you back here on the program. Like you said, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
So, here we are. Another wonderful night with Charls Carroll.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and anything is good. The stuff that you talk about when there's a brotherhood or whatever you are, it's important that you're in communication with people. If you sit there in a corner in your room and you're going to have all different kinds of thoughts coming your way, unless you got your brothers there, you got your sisters there, you got really important people there. You get to talk about, I mean, some people don't want to hear it. I mean, and the people that don't want to hear it, you don't give it to them, you know what I'm saying? It actually makes their life worse. But people that are around and they understand that pretty much everything is an illusion, let me just put it that way. I mean, they're kind of open to turning that frown upside down, and they look at the world and they see missiles flying, and I say, you know what? I say I'll jump right on one of those things. I'll fly one of those things right into the ground somewhere. I'll breathe the air outside, and I'm not going to be afraid. What am I going to cry about it? I mean, it's never going to end. It's never going to end. But I mean, you have to talk to people about it. You have to kind of ramble about it. You have to rave about it. And I'm a sort of a professional at doing that nonstop.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You got to do that because it's how you sort things out. I mean, I can't tell you how many times on this show we don't really know the direction it's going to go in.
You don't
and
want
then we'll start talking about something. Yeah, you don't want to. You want it to be like a lightning rod. You want it to be the foundation of everything comes to this weird project that we're doing. And then as a result, you capture that lightning,
Yeah, you have to ride it.
You mentioned the Brotherhood. Well, I would like to think we have our own here on the show. We got our wonderful Discord. All the folks in there sharing stories, sharing their life moments with each other every single day, talking about all kinds of stuff, having arguments, having discussions, having all sorts of important conversations every day. So, I if nothing else, I'm glad the show has brought some camaraderie to some people out there, as well as, like you said, a few laughs and smiles. I would have to agree with you on that part.
Yeah, you have to have it. Either you bring things together or you drive things apart. And if you wedge in between people, you create discord. I mean, regardless of the platform's name, if you create discord in the truest sense, you are a problem. If you're wedging in between people, if you're argumentative, and I mean, look, things require argument, they require discussion, but there's a certain point where things are a cyclical thought prison. And if you go round and round and round and round, I mean, it's only a matter of time till like you're in Problem Child when you're on that ride and you're puking everywhere. I don't know if you guys ever seen that that classic, but I mean, I haven't seen it in 30 years.
I don't think that I have, but
you should. Oh my God.
I do very much so understand and agree with everything you're saying. It does feel like, yeah, a lot of times it's like we get into some heavy stuff on the show, some stuff that's sort of like just subliminally, like, you know, just sort of surface level bullshit or whatever. But that sort of brings about the discussion, and you hope that the discussion sort of facilitates some level of, you know, at the very least, I don't know, catharsis or camaraderie or whatever you need to get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
In order to keep facing the world.
You shoot from the hip. You have to. Yeah, go ahead.
If I didn't have this podcast, I don't know what the hell I'd do. You know, I got to get out here. I got to like share my thoughts on all this useless crap I see on the internet every single day. You know, it's
important to.
Yeah, like I honestly, I feel like before I had this podcast, I just annoyed my personal friends with this stuff, and it was just like they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't want to know what I'm talking about, and I don't blame them. But you know, I got to get it out there. I got to say it, and I'm glad that we have
an outlet
for that.
Oh yeah,
there's sickos like us that need to hear about it.
Yeah, somebody does got to say
and
it.
And if you've got something to say,
as fuck
you have to.
That's right. Speaking of which, let's go right along to a little bit of our own show news. We mentioned Twitch earlier. We got our own Twitch channel, of course. It's called twitch.tv/thoughtcops. Give us a follow. If you got Twitch Prime, subscribe. Throw us a few bucks over there. Helps us out. You know, we get all kinds of fun and games on there every Wednesday night and Sunday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's a good time, you know, kind of loosey-goosey, hanging out, doing whatever we feel like.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't always be in, like, have something together that's very meticulous. You have to be able to shoot from the hip. You have to, otherwise you turn into a soldier.
Yeah, you know? I couldn't have said it better.
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, it's like, you know, we have our doc and our organization for the episode, and you know, there's like a loose structure to it. But you know, the Twitch streams, it's just like, come hang out, you know, do whatever, have some fun.
Yeah, and you're gonna play some Zelda.
Yeah,
it's the best game that I've played in the last 10 years is Breath of the Wild. When I saw you guys playing that, I couldn't believe it. That game was. I felt blessed when I was playing that. I felt like a maniac. I put like 120 hours into that game. I can't believe that.
Same.
Yeah,
it's
incredible. It's funny because you rated our channel as I was in the middle of playing, and I was like doing very, very poorly because I forgot how to beat that boss. Yeah. And then it was just like 100 people watching me play as I'm like struggling.
It's the best though. You have to have that, and you have to detach, and sometimes you play a game. I mean, it's great. I mean, you never know. And if you stick with it, with rambling, you really have to. And when you stick with it, when you're rambling, you never know what you're gonna come into. You just don't. There are things that you cannot plan for, and they are really really wonderful things. You can't make it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I would say, like, compared to a lot of, like, scripted television and other things like that, I really get a lot more out of, like, Twitch and podcasts, mostly just because of, like, the loose conversational nature of it.
Yeah, it's like spontaneity. It's like, who makes you laugh harder than, like, your own group of friends when you're just, like, chilling and someone, like, spills something or falls over or says something dumb and you have that moment of, like... You all come together laughing at this thing, as opposed to, like you said, like scripting something.
Stupid fucking idiot, you spilled something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
those are the best times. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to ride the snake, and you really can't plan. You can't always plan on these things, but I'll tell you, if you're willing and you're able, then you can get to things that you can't articulate with calculated language or a calculated thought. You have to just spit it out. Even if you're wrong, I mean, it doesn't matter. You can't be afraid of anything. You just go into it, and that's when you can get to some really, really sometimes heavy stuff. Sometimes things that you actually really shouldn't even be talking about. That's when you kind of stop talking about it.
Right.
And let's see what happens tonight, shall we?
Oh yeah.
on that segue, let's just get right to it. 2 minutes of hate. It's a very famous, very favorite segment of the show where we like to blanket punish all the annoying random crap that we see every single day on our phones and our personal computers, on the social media websites that we continue to use for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
My 2 minutes of hate this week is the phrase "new type of guy." This is another segment of Kevin's annoyed by a worthless Twitter format joke. But again, it's just Grant, we were hanging out before the show for a while.
Yeah.
I got here a few hours early. I had some time to kill, and we were doing our
You watched me eat a big bowl of spaghetti.
I did. That was a big bowl of spaghetti. I didn't want to comment on it, but that was a huge bowl of spaghetti and what looked to be meatballs.
I was
going to
say meat sauce in that too, bolognese.
It was sort of yeah.
You ripped the thing in about 3 minutes.
Trying to gain weight, fellas.
Oh.
Trying to put on some weight, trying to gain some mass here.
Bulking up. Yeah.
Bulking up.
So he sat there and ate spaghetti as I got some things off my chest.
My spaghetti.
And I'm thinking like just all this, one thing I love about the internet is when something is funny, they just ram it through the ground.
Right.
All the way through the ground. They just take something and they stomp it senseless. And then it turns into like this annoying, like doing praxis on the internet. Like, oh, like what, So the phrase "new type of guy" was like something like some offhand comment where it's like someone finds a really weird YouTube comment on like a, specific like fetish or sexual kink conversation. And they're like, I found a new type of guy. This guy's into like balloon play or whatever the hell.
5,000 comments, 128,000 retweets, 500 trillion likes.
Oof.
But now it's like they just use the term so loosely to feel like just kind of like, again, it's like turned into like using for praxis. They'll like screen grab a tweet from Ted Cruz or something and say, "Oh, found a new type of guy," and it's Ted Cruz saying whatever on
He's
Twitter.
Not new.
He's liking porn in public.
Just like something like something ridiculous like that. Like they'll just point out something stupid that someone says, and it's gone beyond just like finding some obscure conversation or whatever on the internet and just like saying these benign phrases like found a new type of guy.
Right.
And there's even I think
they're just completely devoid of meaningless.
Yeah.
Completely devoid of any meaning.
And there's a Twitter account, I think it's called New Type of Guy, where they just quote invent new types of guys.
That's healthy.
And it has
That's healthy for manhood, isn't it?
No, I mean, you're 100% right. Yeah, it's like it's not only like annoying, but it's like unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's just it feels I don't know, it just feels like weird and disingenuous. And the whole thing is, and again, an account like this has like hundreds of thousands of followers as well.
Right. Yeah.
Where they just sit around and come up with, again, quote, new types of guys. And the joke's done. It's ruined.
Yeah.
What once started
as soon as that account was created. Yeah.
Exactly.
As soon as the account was created, your lunch was ruined.
Yeah. I had to spit my spaghetti right back up as soon as Kevin showed me that account.
It's awful, man. Awful sight. But I would like to quote you from last week, Grant, about the I'll just call it the thanks Obama phenomenon.
Right.
Where the phrase thanks Obama was ruined when Obama said thanks Obama.
Yeah.
And again, it's just that, like, maybe you could call it jumping the shark in some regard, where it's that exact moment where something...
Right.
Yeah.
A completely square guy who you wouldn't even be able to talk a sentence to. He takes off his shirt. He's like, I once punched this guy that called me a name, and I smoked a cigarette in his face. You know, it's like, and then he's like, thanks, Obama. And you're like, this guy, like you wouldn't even be able to talk a sentence with him. I mean, and he's just like one of the guys. You know what I mean? Now he is, right? Oh yeah.
I do want to shout out the chat here. Shogun of Sorrow says, I don't even know what Kevin is on about, but I'm annoyed with him now. I won people over who had no idea what this was, and they didn't even have to know what it was. But again, I have to have this outlet, and people are willing to listen and also be annoyed with me. You know, it's contagious.
Right.
But I think it's therapeutic, too.
It's like a cult.
Yes.
Don't be afraid of being annoying.
Yeah, I would like to think of myself as the Jim Jones of podcasting.
Oh,
that's a good self-title.
Or at the very least, it's a personal goal.
All right,
Jim Jones. I understand though.
So yeah, I mean, new type of guy. I'm done with this shit. You know?
Yeah.
I don't blame
what's
you.
your punishment? Do you think?
Bring back the old types of guys, whatever those were. You know, just
Old men.
Yeah.
Just everyone on Twitter is now old.
Just kind of like normie stuff, old, whatever, doesn't matter. Like people who were just.
You mean the old type of guy that if they saw someone being abused, they would kill them. I'm talking the abuser. When if they were on the street and someone was getting abused, they'd go up to him and they'd straight up knock their teeth out or throw them off a bridge. Yeah. You know, the old type. But there's a new type that kind of look him up and down, kind of see where he's at, kind of try to look through his pants, see what kind of hammer he's got. You know what I mean? Take a look at his eyes. You know, there are several different kinds of men now, but it depends what your definition of man is.
And again, there doesn't have to be this many new ones, you know?
Right. There's too many.
Just, yeah, we got enough. I'm shutting down the new guy factory.
Yeah.
I think that's a better punishment, too. I'm shutting down the new guy factory. Closed for business. I'm sorry, everyone. It's done.
Yeah, what do we need new guys for?
We got enough.
Yeah, we have plenty. I mean, I think there are many more categories now these days, and I don't know if you need any more.
It's true. Speaking of which, Charles, if you got anything you want to get off your chest here, apologies that Grant is not currently eating a bowl of spaghetti for you to vent to him at the moment, but we are,
next time.
Our ears are open.
I'd like to hear that spaghetti, but there are many things. But I tried to remember what I raved about last time, and I couldn't even find it. I didn't even know. But I'll tell you, these days, it's a very unpopular opinion. There's one thing I hate more. Well, I don't want to say I hate it more than anything in the world, but it is the object of my ire these days, and that is knowledge. Okay, knowledge. You can spend your whole life gathering knowledge. You gather the knowledge, you ask the questions that people have asked for 1,000,000 years, yet there are no answers. That means they're the wrong questions. The quest for knowledge is a millstone, and it will drag you underwater and make your life meaningless. You can read 1,000,000 books, you can do 1,000,000 things, you can ask 1,000,000 questions, the ones that everyone's been asking for forever. But I'll tell you, the accumulation of knowledge is so poisonous and so toxic because you eat, but you are never full. You are always hungry. You can never go to sleep. You are always awake. You are always looking for new things, and it brings you to places that are not real. There's a lot of knowledge in this world that I would say maybe 99% of all knowledge that we know that is not even remotely real. But since everyone's locked in the circle of knowledge, no one even takes the time to take a step back and even look at what they're eating, what they're accumulating, or what they're asking. It doesn't even matter anymore. And I hate. And look, I mean, there are a lot of people smarter than I am, and I don't denigrate people that know things. But I'll tell you, it doesn't mean shit what you know. It doesn't mean shit. And I like to play a game. There's a game. There are 3 games that I like to play, and this one, there's one of them that is applicable to this. Is okay, you know something that's really dark, that's really dirty, okay, perhaps, that's really shocking, that's really wild, okay, big boy, what are you going to do with that knowledge?
Right.
And that's the only question you have to ask. You say, oh my God, someone comes up to you like, hey, all this is sort of shit is happening, I mean, stop right there. Okay, now that you know, what are you going to do? And that's how you can check. That's how you can check against something, if it's useless knowledge or if it's real. You can check, because if there's nothing in the world you can do about it, the knowledge is worthless. And if you spend your life accumulating worthless knowledge, your life is worthless.
And I would say to some extent, there's also so much to take in these days.
There's too much.
Yeah, it's information overload.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it. So much. You don't know what to look at. You don't know what to talk about. You don't know what to point at. There's so much, and that's why you have to turn knowledge off. You have to turn it off because, you can participate in a knowledge war by talking about what everyone else is talking about. Oh, well, it looks like there again, you're a soldier. You're a soldier of no cause. No cause. The cause of a knowledge accumulation. What do you do? You can soldier on, and then when it's the end, what have you done? What have you done with the knowledge? You can do nothing with it. It's wisdom. It's wisdom that's the thing. But I really hate knowledge, and I love that game. I love the game of what are you going to do with that knowledge? There's a couple other games. Does that make sense? And also, would you let them babysit your children? Those are the three biggest games that there are. Those are the only three games that exist in this world. Those three. Does this make sense? Would you let them babysit your children? And what are you going to do with that knowledge? Those are the only three. Well, I'm sure there are more games, but those are the only three games that are important to me.
A lot of games out there to play.
There are.
I want to give a shout out to Serial Lawabayer in the chat who says that this podcast actually spreads a net negative of knowledge, so we're okay.
That's probably about true.
I would agree.
The net negative is a powerful, powerful phrase, though. A net negative is the power of a media. Let's say, I don't even know if I ramble about these things so often. Stop me if I've talked about it before. But you look at something like, let's say, King of the Hill, and you look at it, and if you fast forward all those years, there's comedy in it. Sure. I'm not a master of King of the Hill, but if you look at it, what it does is it denigrates certain philosophies and certain types of people when you look at it at the end of the day, and whatever. You can do whatever you want. I guess, but you can look at it like that. If the net negative, the total value of it, did it spread anything actionable, or did it spread a disease? And I would argue that a lot of those things spread disece at the
King
end of the day.
I would say that was like a fairly, I don't know what you would say. Like I feel like they were. It's hard to. That's just a unique example because I feel like that show in particular was very open with a lot of things.
Oh, sure.
Conversations
I'm not going to say it's bad. The people that did it were rather brilliant. You could say the same thing about South Park, but if it's animated, it's marketed towards children, and there's nothing you can do to get away from that. If it's drawn, if it's animated, it's for children. And if you look at some of the themes and some of the violence, some of the sexual violence, or some of the I'm really hesitant to use the word racism or anything like that because why would I even bother using that word? It's meaningless to me. But there's a lot of stuff in it that's sort of a denigration of people. But hey, you can denigrate me all you want. It doesn't matter to me. I can take it. I'm a man. I'm not a new type. I'm an old type. I can take whatever you want to throw at me. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to shoot myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to die in your face. But the net negative.
I would hope not. Yeah.
Yeah. But the net negative thing is a really powerful check. That's also a game. Is this a net negative if you fast forward all like years and years and years? But that's a big thing. These are big properties. These are talented people. Like I'm not going to say it's all bad, but the net negative thing. Anyway, I don't want to ramble about that forever.
I think in some respect it's almost impossible to know because, this is actually something I think about often because there's so many battling philosophies and things, all the, comedies or whatever jokes and everything happening now, a lot of times have a meaning or a take behind them. And whether or not, whatever it's looked at 10 years from now, I have no idea what direction things are going to be in a year, 2 years from now.
It's like useless to even assume.
I at this point, like I can't worry about it anymore because I truly have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And I think it's becoming less and less clear what that's going to be at all.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, things are not clear on the surface of it. All you need to do is look at the past of what media is being made and what you're expected to have normalized in your face. So you can see where the winds are blowing if you look at who's got a blower on them, who's making the media.
I feel like that does. It's changing a lot, especially these days. Because we've talked about on this show before how what you would call like mass media in general doesn't have the same power over people's views and everything that they used to have because the internet has become a huge thing. Like people are listening more to not us, but other people who do similar things to us.
It does and it doesn't because they're still the gatekeepers, you know. There's still the people out there that, you know, you create a YouTube and you're like democratized media, and then you get Jimmy Kimmel shoving ads into your YouTube feed, and you're just like, this is not what this was supposed to be, but this is what it is now. So I don't know. There's a lot of shit out there, but I do feel like this sort of, again, just to sort of go back into the point of this show, I feel like this does sort of encapsulate a lot of this show because it's like I feel like we're a weather vane towards some of these conversations because it's like we don't read, you know, Charles, you're talking about knowledge and stuff like that. Like any of these articles we talk about, we don't read shit. We don't do any research. We're not knowledgeable.
I only
people,
read fiction, but that's it. I'm serious, and I recommend that to you too. Only read fiction. Nonfiction is for the dead.
I've been leaning to it, like especially these days. Like I was telling Grant, like I've been playing more video games during the pandemic because there's a sense, like something of a false sense of accomplishment from it. Like I still do this and I still do other stuff, but like if you just consume information about like who's getting fired from what Disney Plus show, you're gonna die. Like it's survival to take in other things like that. It's not like I'm escaping from reality constantly. I see it as like,
and these people are actors too. This is all scripted.
That's also true. I mean, a lot of times this is like they're accounting for the outrage.
Big script. These are actors that are doing this, that are getting canceled. Like it's a script. They're actors. But continue. I don't mean to digress into.
No. I mean, I would say like I try to have some kind of balance in my head just to kind of like survive. Like at this point, it's like I'm in survival mode so often where I just have to, all this stuff is coming at me, and I have to at some point just do what I can, and that's all I can do.
Close your eyes to that. Close your eyes to the big script. If you want something good, if you want to fill your mind with something good, you read fiction. There's so much more truth in fiction because of the figurative layer on top of it that makes it in a way unassailable to attack. There's a layer to it that is required in order for you to really get it into your heart. If anything's on the surface goes into your eyes, it's just absolute crap. But if the fictional things, they have the element of truth to them. It goes beyond the things that other people tell you that are true. It goes way beyond it. And the real masters, they do their work in fiction. You can get out there in a soapbox and you can talk politics or you can talk gossip, whatever. And I'm telling you, you get rich doing that. You know what I mean? You can get rich doing that, but you suffer in other ways. That's if you deal in the literal. I mean, you're dealing in something that's way worse than lead. You're dealing in friggin' depleted uranium rounds or whatever the hell that is.
So, on the quest for knowledge or lack thereof, Charles, if you could punish this, however you
punish knowledge,
punishing knowledge. Punishing knowledge. How do you?
If that's how you want to put it, and we also have a spinny wheel we can spin if you need.
Well, I would say, if you want to punish knowledge, you just got to give someone an old-fashioned swirly. You got to dunk their heads in a toilet, and you got to flush the thing. You got to put someone in their place.
I'm liking where this is going.
Right. You got to put someone in their place. You got to give them a wedgie. You got to push them into the lockers. You got to give them a swirly and say, listen, nerd. What are you going to do with that knowledge? Are you making the world worse by spreading your disease, nerd? And that's what I think about that sort of thing. There's nothing worse than a nerd, honestly. They're way worse than the jocks. It's really true, but that's really the punishment that is required for that. It's nothing. It's not a beating. It's not torture. It's a wake up. Say, listen, buddy. There are other people on this planet, and there are a lot of people that don't give a shit what you're talking about. And you know what? If not everyone wants to hear what you're saying, maybe you gotta think of what you're saying. And of course, the truth. Not everyone wants to hear the truth. Like I do understand that. But if you're just spitting knowledge, you're spitting knowledge. Where do you go? 1,000 different directions, 1,000 places. You go nowhere in the end. It's worthless. And that's the punishment you get. You get a wedgie. You get a swirly. You get thrown in blockers.
Old type of guy stuff. A classic wedgie, a classic swirly.
Yeah, a wet willy.
Oh boy,
You get a nice wet willy.
Yeah, I mean, you could sit there and pontificate about the different way to solve all the world's problems, or you go the utilitarian route and you just jam their head into a toilet.
Yeah,
and at least you're doing something.
At least
you're doing something with that.
You got to do something with it, because if you're just filling someone's head with useless knowledge, there's only so much room in your mind before it turns into a wall. So much knowledge is packed so tightly it turns into a dam. And when you're surrounded by a dam, you're surrounded by the firmament. You can't see what's outside. You only know what you know, and anything anyone else brings to you, you're trying to refute it. You see, when people come at me, even aggressively, I say, you know what? I'm going to listen to what they're saying, and I'm going to assume that it's true for a second. I'm going to check what I'm saying against that. I'm not going to say I know everything and I'm always right. I'm open to that discussion, and that is wisdom. That's not knowledge. That's wisdom. If you're looking to negate some of the worthless trash that you filled in your own mind, then you're on a different path to it's not the accumulation of knowledge. It's the whittling down into the wisdom. If you have 99% of knowledge, there's 1% wisdom in there. That's actionable. And if you're only filled with knowledge, you're just nothing. You just spread the disease. It goes nowhere.
It's a balancing act. Yeah.
That's my punishment. Old-fashioned.
There we go.
Whatever you want to call it. Old-fashioned abuse.
Wet willy.
Yeah. When's the last time you got one of those or heard of that?
God, it's been a while.
It certainly has been.
Thankfully, I wouldn't exactly like one. I want to keep your fingers out of my ear.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Well, a wet willy's way better than one-eyed willy. I mean, you could be one of the Goonies. You're a bunch of children looking for a treasure, which is one-eyed willy? Okay, that sounds like a treasure for children, doesn't it? That sounds like a real treasure for children, a one-eyed willy. Oh, wow, that sounds great. I fucking hate that movie.
I've never seen it.
It was the 80s, and I also kind of hate that movie.
Makes me
I don't think
sick. Every minute of it is torture as a child, because it's just perversion every single minute through. I can't stand it. One-eyed willy. Speaking of
perversion, Grant, what do you have for us this week?
This sort of piggybacks off of both of yours 2 minutes of hates is.
Well, that's great.
Attorneys General.
You planned this out? You knew?
Well, because we were, like you said, we were talking before the show. I was eating a very large bowl of spaghetti and a pound of ground beef. And you were talking about this new type of guy and just all this negativity that you see on Twitter all the time, and just the whole concept of like social media is just a way to, like, one, make yourself feel better about yourself, and two, to come off as snarky to people that you think you're better than.
Yeah.
And I feel like one thing that I've noticed within that sort of vein, and Charles sort of touched on this a little bit with people that come at him, is the constant need for people to step on other people's feet in terms of like trying to start arguments. And it's almost one of those things where like debate culture online has become more and more of a thing where everyone wants to debate each other and everyone wants to use these tactics. They learn tactics online of like, oh, I learned what an ad hominem is. I read all of these. I read all rhetoric, of these. These logical fallacies, and I recognize that you are using one, sir. And I challenge you to an argument of wits. And it's one of those things where it's just like, like Charles was saying, what's the utility in this? Like, you could be 100% right, but you get down to it, and it's like, what exactly?
Sounds fun. That's why it sounds like a blast.
What exactly is the utility in this? Like, why would I even buy? Like,
is there utility in division?
Not certain types of divisions, sure, arguably, but like, what was the example that I was using in our conversation from earlier? There was something about. Give me 1 second here.
You asked me. I'm trying to think. I mean, I was so focused on that bowl of spaghetti. You got to
right.
Sorry
about that. I said something about the movie. Oh, I'll tell you what it is.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it though.
So
3, 2, 1.
I almost forget it.
Yeah.
So one time I was on Twitter, and we have this series called Re-Educationing on YouTube, and we just sort of use it again, like to poke fun at like some of the popular talking points of nowadays, and just to completely obscure it from what it's supposed to be. And I think Kathy Griffin tweeted something about what is Gamergate. And I posted the video to big oof.
Yeah.
I posted the video to my explanation of what Gamergate was, which it's like a 3-minute long video about like nothing. I made the video about nothing. It's supposed to draw in clicks, and people are supposed to click it and watch it and get zero information out of it. That's the joke. And there was this guy that was arguing with me, and he was like, your video's stupid and it deserves the small amount of views that it got. And I was just like,
and it's like, sure. Yeah. Okay.
That's exactly how I responded. I was
maybe
like,
so.
I was like, yes. And he was like,
perhaps
it's time to pack it up and go home. And I was like, yeah,
that's it. I'm
home.
done.
Yeah. I'm like, I just like, what is the like? It's a video, man. Just either watch it or don't watch it.
And
but like,
you gave him nothing to work with.
Yeah, I gave him nothing to work with, and eventually he got bored. But it's just like, what is the utility in arguing over just this thing that I made? Like, I don't even care to defend it. You're right. It's terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever done in my entire life.
And
why
it's
do I care?
Maybe it is. Sure, why not?
No, like I agree. I completely agree. It's a dumb video.
Yeah.
So what? So,
yeah, you don't have to.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, that's a different when you're talking logic and you're talking rhetoric. You're usually talking to people that have no idea what any of those things are. And with debate, for me, I don't try to defeat somebody. I'm looking to come to the same place together. There's no utility in the division of argument. It's not debate. What isn't supposed to be about winning. It's supposed to be about coming to a truth that you both agree upon. And if you look at the professional debaters, these people are talking like the Micro Machines guy. It's like they use weapons, like talking nonstop, using all different kinds of these fallacies. Now, I mean, I don't know all of them. We could read the we could do Counter Intel Pro right now if you want, but I wouldn't if I were you. That's a military thing. If you're looking to debate people in that regards, you're looking to shut people down or cancel people. That's violence. That's not debate. It's not coming to truth or wisdom. That's violence.
Yeah, and I certainly see. I feel like what I'm seeing is the reflection of that, because there are certain people online, like what's that guy, Destiny or whatever. He just argues with people nonstop. All day long, 7 days a week.
They make a lot of money doing that,
24 hours a day. He makes a lot of money doing it.
Oh, I bet.
But like, and that's sort of like, okay, you can do that. I don't care. But what I feel like I see is that distilled into everyone wants to do that now. Everyone wants to just like tear each other down. Everybody wants to debate each other. Everybody wants to just like be what they see on the internet. And it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't care to
look
do
where
that.
It gets us.
It's boring.
Look how it is right now. Look where it got everybody. It's never been worse.
I agree.
These guys are professionals. They do it for a living. They make a lot of money doing it. And you know, I don't know too much about what those guys do. I've only seen briefly what he's done, but it's just if you don't come to common ground, and if you don't get in someone else's shoes, you don't get in someone else's pants. I mean, how can you expect to be friends?
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, like, I think at the end of the day that there is, like, maybe you won't come to a complete agreement. I don't think it's impossible for every single person to agree. At least I think so.
Right. But I think even, like, to a certain extent, what Charles was saying about they're all actors, it's like, I think that about, like, a lot of these people, too, that it's like, I watch a Destiny video. I don't know. And he's just an example of this. I'm not, like, going after. I don't know. I've watched maybe 30 minutes total of anything Destiny's done.
Sure, he's
I'm not
fine
saying
man.
I'm sure he's terrific. He's probably the best man.
I'm sure he's got a hammer on him.
There's a lot of people that use these tactics and stuff like that. And it's like you can never know what's happening inside of someone's mind, inside someone's brain, how the gears that are turning, the mechanisms that are working.
You don't know if they have bad intentions, and they will disregard the truth just to take you down. You don't know.
But it is one of those things where it's like I see that as a type of acting. Again, I do see that as acting. I don't see it as like genuine, like you can't tell me that this guy goes around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like when he's not on camera, and he's just going to talk to people that way. How does he talk to his friends, his family, just normal people, the woman at the checkout counter?
I don't think you could just turn that off so easily.
Maybe not. Maybe
you're doing it that much,
Maybe he's living
but you don't do it for free,
hell,
These people don't do that for free.
It's true. So
but I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah. And the distillation of that into, everybody wants to debate each other. Everybody, I'm so much smarter than you. Look at my snark. Look how snarky I am. You're stupid while I'm smart and witty. And it's just like, we can't all be doing this back.
No man is so dumb or crippled than he who thinks he is smarter than all else. No man is so blind or so crippled or so dumb or so worthless than someone who thinks they know leaps and bounds on top of other people. And look, I've tooted my own horn in the past. Like I know what I know, but what I know isn't regular knowledge. It's not even something that can be debated. I mean, that's just my opinion, of course. But I don't look for the debates. I look to learn from other people's grievances. I take what they say and I'm like, oh, I'll listen to it. I don't try to refute it. And if I'm going to refute it, it's because it's an unhealthy argument or unhealthy thinking. But where do you get when you try to win somebody? It's not about winning somebody. It's about having them become more alive, having them become more awake. And you start with yourself first, and if you don't, then you're only spreading your own disease. But I'm never interested in coming at people or saying this and that. And so it makes me laugh when I see people, and any people that I see debating in a hardcore way or spitting out talking points or spitting out mind control bullshit. I'll block them right away. I don't even want them around me. Right away. So it's unhealthy. And if you can't come to something where you both can smile about and you both can laugh about and shake hands about or get real about, it's just rhetoric. It's just worthless rhetoric, and it's rhetoric that's weaponized against you, not only the person you're using it against.
Right. I could not have said it better myself. I think
that's Charles for you. He'll say it for you.
Yeah.
Well, I've been heavy lately. I mean, I don't know I don't know how to compare this from the last one. The last one we were talking about light stuff. We were laughing heavy, but I mean not laughing heavy. We were laughing light, being crazy. I mean, we're doing that now, but it's just
we got silly.
Feels like a serious. Like I have the things that I've been seeing lately, the things I've been watching or broadcasting. They've got some questions in my mind that bring you to your knees. So I'm like in a mood of trying to get down in it in a very serious way that you can actually use. A bit of wisdom is worth so much. Something that you can use in your life is worth so much more than attacking somebody or calling someone dumb or saying that they like some political candidate. Like I give a damn who's in office or who's running in office. What do you think? I'm a child? You know what I mean? It's just but if you get heavy into something that is real manhood or real womanhood, you really get into something that can free your soul or protect your heart from the sewage that's all around you, useless trash, and it's a really heavy mode. I don't know if it's the moon. I mean, we got a full moon coming our way. I don't know if it's Aquarius. I don't know if it's the year of the, goat or whatever the hell it is. I have no idea. I really don't know, but it seems like such a heavy time. I mean, people are really feeling it, but they're feeling it in all the wrong ways. Yeah. They're only feeling the invisible ghosts. They're only afraid of. They're afraid of the air. They're afraid of other people. They're afraid of this and that. I said, "Oh my God!" It's the only thing you have to be afraid of is coming back here after you die. That's the only thing you need to fear is being tricked into coming back here again. That's the only thing there is to fear. Nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's some truth, in my opinion, to like everything going on, with the invisible to some extent, but like protecting yourself and doing, you can only do what you want to do at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself however you want to take care of yourself. I mean, that's kind of like, there's a lot of conversations about who should be doing what and how. And it's like, to some extent, I agree and disagree with like so much of different things being said. But, with everything going on, I can really only take care of myself.
Yes.
And if I continue to worry about every single other person and how they agree or disagree on this or disagree on that or whatever, it will destroy me.
Yes. And you'll spread your own disease. You call that Wetiko. Let's give it a name, huh?
we have to. That could be the word of the week. What was that, Charles?
Wetiko.
Wetiko.
If you haven't read Dispelling Wetiko, you are not even alive. How's that?
I guess I haven't lived.
Is a non-existent person. I don't know if I can even answer that.
Well, I don't mean it. I don't mean to be insulting. You guys get what I'm saying? But I mean,
we got some homework to do, Grant. That's all it is.
Really do. You have no idea what you're up against. No idea what you're up against.
And it's like, there's like people I disagree with and whatever. But, at the same time, I think that the approach that a lot of people do come at people they disagree with, like you said,
military.
Is, like it's
a soldier.
And
like a soldier in World War III. You're waiting for missiles and bombs. You need wait no longer. You're in it right now.
Hey, we're in the info war right now.
Oh yeah.
And that's like Twitter to some extent rewards you with like higher numbers for being angrier. So it's,
it is the info war.
Yeah.
Yeah, people get paid for being dirty, and the dirtiest people get paid the most. And I don't like that at all. What am I going to do about it? Cry about it? The dirtiest weasels that deserve, I don't even want to say it, they get paid the most.
There's a lot I've been struggling with in the terms of, things that I have to come to terms with that I can't control. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of things that have happened over the last couple of years and all sorts of aspects,
what?
But
let's get heavy.
To be honest, like that's just like not even like something I want to like. Okay. I don't consider myself to be even a particularly intelligent person. So
you don't need to be intelligent. Intelligence sucks. The more intelligent you are, the more insane you go when you're looking in the mirror.
Yeah, and that's I try to keep this product we make here just as a beacon of laughter in some respects.
Oh, it's like, I don't mean to be getting too heavy.
No, not at all, Charles. And I do appreciate the conversation greatly. I know that when we get you on the show, we're going to have all sorts of, we're going to go down all sorts of tunnels and holes and everything like that.
We can go anywhere you want. We can go so far where we're all dead next week if you want to.
And that's how it is. We have all different kinds of guests on the show who bring different energies and directions to what we do here. Yeah, so it is what it is. And I think that there is a lot to be said about this kind of stuff. But there's also a lot to be said about
the mirth. Yeah.
About the mirth and whatever else kind of what we have here. Mr. Potato Head. We'll get to that here in a second.
Oh god. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Did you pep a punishment, Grant, already? Or I think we've been off the rails.
Yeah, that's okay. The rails need to be. You need to go off the rails sometimes so that you can clean the rails. And I don't know anything about.
You gotta piss on them sometimes so you can get electrocuted.
Yeah.
Right. That's about all I know about railroads.
Yeah.
I guess. I guess I'll go old school with it too. If you do this. Here's what you got to do. You got to stay after school. You got to write sentences. You got to be Bart Simpson.
Oh, boy.
Writing on the chalkboard. Just sentences. It doesn't even have to be, it could be whatever. It doesn't have to be a punishment. You don't have to say what you did wrong. You just have to write sentences.
You mean the mirror treatment.
Over and over again.
What you've done and what you've said right in your face so you can think about it to see if it holds any weight.
Right.
Yeah.
It could just be stream of consciousness. You just got to sit there.
It's got to be 280 characters.
More than that.
So,
280 chalkboards you have to fill up.
Ooh.
And once you're done with that introspection, I would imagine you come out the other side either enlightened or a completely broken person. One of the two.
Speaking of that, if you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories and then sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment.
Often sexual punishment.
Hey, maybe so. And that's actually a great segue here. Mr. Potato Head is just called Potato Head now, apparently.
Why not? I mean, why?
To sell more potatoes.
Who the hell buys that? I mean,
to sell.
Who the hell's going to dress up a stupid ass potato other than
I don't know,
other than a child that's given a stupid ass toy by a dumbass parent who's worthless?
Are kids even into Mr. Potato Head anymore? Like,
I think that the only thing that would cause a spike in the purchase of potato heads is that is like the Toy Story movies. I think that's 100%.
That's the dude from Cheers. The mailman from Cheers, right? Didn't he do the voice for
he was the
was he?
Mr. Potato Head?
I mean, that's just a guess.
I don't remember.
I don't
either.
even remember. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, so I guess they just want to sell more potato heads to whoever they
you
can.
think it's about money, though, yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, there's all sorts of conversations to be had. But I saw somebody tweeted today was like I forgot exactly how it was phrased, but just what's worse, the fact that people are mad about it, or the fact that everybody's talking about it like they intended?
Right?
Yeah, and why doesn't he have a dick? I mean, why doesn't he have genitals? I mean, he or she or whatever. Why doesn't it have something else? Like, what? I mean, hey, he's got lips. He's got eyes,
got lips, all right.
But does he have a blower on him?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Charles, it kind of ties into the whole Goonies thing earlier. Do we really want the kids having dealing with the potato like this? I think that's a whole conversation.
That's psychological warfare. That's psychological warfare when you raise questions like that in a child's mind. It has nothing to do with selling things or this or that. It has them question their own reality. And I mean, I haven't played with a toy. Well, I mean, sure, I have played with a toy. Oh, I mean, I play with toys, I guess, but
yeah, it might have been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. But if you're a responsible parent, you're reading to your children. You're reading aloud to your children. You're not giving them a toy. You're not giving them a phone. You're not giving them a potato. You're not giving them genitals. You're not giving them a one-eyed Willy. You know what I mean? You're reading to them. You're discussing with them. It has nothing to do with education and child rearing. It has nothing to do with toys. Toys are absolutely worthless. A little man, a little woman is a little man and is a little woman. They're not a child. They're not some dunce. They are hyper intelligent sponges, and they need no potatoes in their lives. They need wisdom in their lives. Potatoes? Are you potatoes? Playoffs? I mean, potatoes?
Not to inject unnecessary knowledge into this situation, but I do know they do scientific studies on children that grow up with pets versus children that grow up with playing toys. And they say like 10 out of 10 if you have a pet growing up and you play with the dog and like a dog, cat, whatever, you play with the animal and you get that feedback of like, you communicate with them, they communicate with you. They say that children end up,
if you prick it, it's going to growl at you.
Right.
Yeah.
Potato, do whatever the fuck it wants to.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, you could throw it across the room.
You could put a foot on its nose and they will say nothing. And you could say, look at what I did. I got eyes where the feet go.
It really is sociopathic.
Yeah.
I mean, switching things around like that's like something Mengele did.
I was just thinking the same
thing.
There
you go.
Grant, you had the article pulled up here from New York Post.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe it does. Maybe we can take it to another limit. Maybe we can get a limit break on here.
The only thing, very good. The only thing that I saw about this article is that they said that they're not getting rid of Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head, but they're just calling the brand of these potato heads Potato Heads. So it's not like Mr. Potato Head and you buy it and it's a Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah.
It's just you can buy whatever potato heads and they're just called Potato Head.
So I think the word you might be looking for is androgyne. That might be the word that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You don't want to be
called
worried
that.
about
I think
that
that's a great punishment. Androgyne Potato Head.
Honestly, good branding.
I mean, maybe
it makes you crack open a book.
it doesn't
makes me crack open a
so
beer.
well for kids, but they'll figure it out.
Hey, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy, right, fellas?
Oh my god, what the hell? Yeah, I'd rather have a pet. I'd rather have a cat or a dog, or it doesn't matter what it is. I'd rather have something with a life. I'd rather have something that responds to my feelings. I'd rather have something that when you're sick, it comes to you and it comforts you. That is moving. Exactly. A toy will never do that. You can choke on a toy. You can die from a toy as a child. Well, I mean, you can die from a pet too, of course. But I mean, it's not the same thing. A pet will protect you. A toy can kill you if you use it the wrong way. And one is not like the other. Children do not need toys. Children need education. Children need wisdom. And, I mean, children need knowledge too. I hate knowledge, but you get what I'm saying. But toys.
It all comes back around, yeah.
I mean, toys? Oh my gosh. Boys, you need to read. You need to have them read. You need to think about things that are big. You have to talk to them about things that are so big that they don't even understand, but it doesn't matter. You say it anyway.
Speaking of things that are big and don't matter, Metallica's big concert on Twitch. Charles, did you happen to see this?
No, I didn't, and I didn't hear it, but I got the gist of it. And if it is astounding that anyone could think that's anything but a scripted madhouse. You really think you have someone like Metallica on there on Twitch, and you think that they're forced to interchange their music with something that's not copyrighted? You're talking about Metallica.
I mean they've always been very protective of their property. Like the whole remember the whole
I remember the groupies, Share My
Napster.
Groupies from
Napster,
Lars.
Yeah,
I remember him. Share My Groupies. All right.
So they, what happened basically, and Charles, you're an avid Twitch user, Twitch streamer as well. It's a very finicky system. You say the wrong thing, you put the wrong thing on there. You can lose it all.
Yeah, the fear.
The audio just drops. Yeah. So whether or not this was scripted is up for debate, but the fact that it happened is a fact.
And it is funny. We do have the video if you'd like to watch that with us.
Absolutely. I'd like to hear it too, because someone said like 8-bit this and that. I said, oh my God. I was like,
so
are
it's
you
almost
telling
like
me Metallica?
not exactly that too. But
see, I don't even know the facts. Facts are irrelevant
here. Yeah, they don't care about your feelings, and your feelings don't care about facts.
No.
So
yeah, let's hit this video real quick.
Yeah, I want to hear it. Or see it or whatever. I don't know how I'm going to see it, but I want to hear it.
Yeah, so
I
Charles,
dropped it in the podcast chat for you. If you scroll down, there should be a link to a Twitter.
Does that say Rimbot? I see Rhymebot. Oh, is it in like
that's
the
different.
the podcast chat? I see. Okay. Because I'm curious about this shit, because for anyone to think that Metallica is subject to rules that you're subject to is absolutely absurd. Absurd. You think Metallica is subject to the rules that you're subject to? It's absolutely absurd. But I gotta hear this. Oh my gosh!
Are you listening now?
I am listening, and it straight up sounds good. It straight up sounds like something out of Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. Here, if you want to, should we play Should we play the audio for the
absolutely
for the listener at home?
Oh yeah. Yo, that sounds good. Are they playing this in Antarctica? You remember that, right? They went to Antarctica to play. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Not really, I guess.
Crazy things have happened. So this is whatever the case, whether or not it was planned or whatever. It's definitely a weird flub and just a weird thing that occurred in the year 2021, of course.
Right.
8-bit folk music to avoid DMCA. DMCA, oh, that's the end right there.
Yeah.
The DMCA is the end of everything.
If you listen really closely, it sounds a lot like Enter Sandman. If you just
notes.
There are.
There's
you
a
just
theme.
Use your imagination.
There's chimes.
Yeah. Arpeggiation, that happens.
I mean, these guys are musicians to a level that I don't even understand. And then they got Nintendo playing in the front while they're playing.
I would say it's more
absurd.
like Baby Einstein.
It's a mix of the two.
Yeah. So, not the usual fare we are normally to expect from Metallica, of course, but hey, that's what you get on Twitch, right?
I mean, it's absolutely absurd. A band that is so gigantic, and the youth to assume that they're subject to the same laws or reality that the normal person is absolutely a psycho. It's like Psycho Circus for Dreamcast.
You know what? They put their pants on one leg at a time, just like us. They got the same. They got the same DMCA strikes that we got, allegedly. So I don't know what this was for, though. Do you know, Grant? It was like part of some kind of. I think
they
it was
did some concert. I didn't really care to read about it.
It was some kind of Twitch sponsored thing too, I believe.
Yeah, it was. It's some convention or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's great. I like these people playing on Twitch. I mean, I really like that. And I mean, I like Metallica. I was listening to them when I was freaking 5 or something like that. I mean, I understand Metallica. I mean, it's very, very crazy. I mean, it's all dark nihilism and all that, but whatever. It's about getting an electric chair, about being puppeted by invisible demons. I mean, it's the same shit you can expect from American music since forever, pretty much.
True.
Right.
But I like it. We talked about the benefits of Twitch. This is one of the
drawbacks.
The drawbacks of Twitch, of course.
Yeah. Well, this isn't there to screw them. This is to send a message for everyone to be afraid to play anything at all. This is a message sent to the normal person. This has nothing to do with Metallica. They can play with whatever they want. They could be fined $10 million each, and it wouldn't even touch them. This is sending a message to everybody else.
That's a good point, because I mean, if they can do it, they can do it to Metallica, they can do it to
now
you.
You see. Now you see the message. Now you see the script.
Next time you and your little friends want to play a little concert on Twitch, because that seems like a great idea.
Now
because
you can't
play a concert at a bar anymore. Yep. Don't even think about it, because Metallica
can't even do it. Right. Oh, that means you can't do it. Oh, is that right? Oh,
that's no good.
Yeah. Now you see. Now you see why this is done. God bless Metallica, I say. What happened to the bassist?
I don't know. They switched up a lot over the years.
Yeah, I'm not really all too familiar with who's in that. I know the main guy.
Oh yeah, they didn't get along.
And then the Lars guy, and then that's all I know.
Yeah, there was a thing. I mean, he came on after the other guy. Whatever happened to him, the bus rider got to him.
Right.
But and I don't know, the other guy that replaced, he just, I mean, I have no idea what happened with the dynamics between them, but something weird. They didn't see eye to eye. I mean, I have no idea. I mean, for all I know, none of these people even exist.
This could cause another rift. Who's to say?
They're all holograms.
That's a great punishment too, Grant. I think they should
turn them into Tupac.
They should be hanging out. Yeah, Tupac and Kim Kardashian's dead dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, did you see that, Charles?
What?
Kanye West purchased a hologram of Robert Kardashian to play at Kim Kardashian's birthday. And it was just a hologram of him saying all these weird inside family jokes to Kim Kardashian. It was super weird.
That's enough to make you scream.
And we did.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You can hear it on the episode.
They should have just played Tupac, and he should have said something like, they got money for war, but they can't feed the poor. They should have just had that playing on repeat.
Could have blocked that out too.
Yeah.
And it turns into friggin' Bubble Bobble from NES music. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, that's free. I mean, that's freakish. The lives of celebrities is a half. It's not even a half life. It's a non-life. It's a dead life. I have no idea what they're into. But I mean, that was a hologram of her dead dad.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty heavy. Dad.
I felt weird watching it. I felt so weird watching it. Just like
Uncanny Valley,
the fear, but the fear of like that all of my thoughts and hopes and dreams and memories could die with me, but that someone could just create a false me and put that out there and put words into my mouth.
I'm actually
I wrote a sketch on that probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was an AI sketch where I died, but they took everything I'd ever done. They made an AI of me, and you could hire me as a virtual assistant. But it just never made.
With all the content you put out, Charles, somebody could.
Oh yeah, it will. Like that wasn't a joke. Like that's the future. That's the future of your life. And it made me laugh
forever.
It made me laugh so hard, but I wasn't in a position really to get it made after certain things that have happened. But all of these sketches that I've written 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they're all a reality now. But my favorite one was the Charles AI. I might have called it II when I was thinking about Monkey Ball, I think. Yeah, just for a joke. But it was me. It was like, hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm gonna help you. If 15 cents a night if you want to have sex. There was a little bit of sexual element into that too.
There has to be.
Yeah, there's got to be, but that's a real thing. Like
sex
you
sells,
don't think there's going to be. I mean, us right now, you'll be lucky if you're even allowed to die.
Yeah,
let me just put it that way.
Was like the fear that I had with seeing this is just like, even if you're gone, it maybe just death changes the form. Maybe none of us ever really truly ever die.
We've put out over 200 episodes of Thought Cops. Maybe the Discord news crew will resurrect us and keep us with them forever, and their children and their children's children.
They're gonna deep fake us.
They'll be hanging out with Kevin and Grant. 100 years from now.
That's a real thing. That's no joke. And if you don't think deep learning AI Satan can completely put you together with just the things you've said and talked about, you are wrong.
I mean, I think if it was me and Grant, you could do a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not so bad if you have that sort of thing. I mean, hey, if you're gonna have an AI of me and a porno, I mean, go ahead, go ahead.
Well,
but I mean,
will not stop you.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead. I mean, I don't mind. That's also another thing. I wanted to clone myself, make a porno with myself. I mean, that's probably not even an old idea. It's probably not even old. It's probably not even novel. but just not being allowed to get out of your consciousness. If you're downloaded into something, you are in a world that is Satan's realm.
That's a good segue. Speaking of Satan's realm, I guess we'll get to this last story. Charles, I don't know if you saw this. This popped up on Twitter for maybe 24 hours. This was the lifespan. There was an account that came up called the Oval Poffice. And it was apparently a fan account for Joe Biden's dog.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I do recall that a little bit. That's so good. I didn't know that was fake. I thought that I was like that's I just assumed that's real just because how everything is so stupid.
Right. Well, I'm reading this article that's on Snopes that says that it is fake. And so I'll just take their word for it.
So you know that it's real, in other words.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So they tweet this out. They say, "My dad at POTUS is very pupset. Many humans are enduring freezing temps in their homes, so he declared state of emergency in Oklahoma and Texas. I've never been so grateful to have a dad who genuinely cares about all of us. Pets too.
Pets don't wear masks. Oh, go ahead.
He personally puts logs on the fire for me."
Whoa. It's a dog that said purr?
Whoa,
yeah,
dog's purring?
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
I've heard everything.
Well, the only takeaway from that is the hue man. I don't know what the hue prefix means, but I bet it means monster. How's that? There's man and there's woman. Yeah. A human is something completely different. What do you think of that?
That's food for thought. Charles, you've given us a lot of homework and things to chew on.
Giving you a lot of hope.
Hope, questions, concerns.
I like that channel though. I like that dog stuff. No, but didn't old Pete, frickin' that other guy that was running, that was eating the ice creams and you know what I mean? Didn't he have like an account that his dog was saying like, stupid ass
now.
shit? I remember I was like, that's politics now. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this stuff is absolutely insane. You got a dog talking on behalf of some sort of a political office. I'm like, oh man, if you knew what the dogs were saying, man, oh my God, your life would be different if you knew what the dogs were really saying.
There's a lot of movies that cover that kind of stuff. What was it? Homeward Bound.
Oh,
yeah.
Just an example.
That's true.
All dogs go to heaven.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's a nightmarish thought. All dogs go to heaven. That reminds me of something I won't even think about.
Well, I will leave it at that, Charles. I think just for the safety of our listeners, we'll leave it at that. You don't want to know.
So this Instagram account that I guess was linked to the Twitter account, it's called first_dogs_USA, and I guess it's a fan account for every like pet of the president, more or less, and they they do these posts on Instagram, and I guess that this was their Twitter account, and they were saying that, hey, this was our Twitter account, and we got banned. We didn't even say or do anything wrong, and we got suspended within 24 hours immediately.
What does it mean?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know. They did apologize for saying personally instead of personally. So
God.
Well, I do appreciate the apology. It takes a lot of courage and strength.
Nowadays,
to apologize like that. That's huge.
You get these hate mobs with their torches and their pitchforks coming at your door, and you got to apologize for saying personally.
Yeah, to apologize on behalf of an animal.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. You got to say like, yes, that was a cat pun. Not a dog pun. We fucked up big time.
We apologize.
And then they got shut out. Then they got closed down because I'm sure they got too much ridicule headed their way, and not even their army could deal with it.
Sad to say.
I don't mind that though. Like what the dog's saying. Like I had a really good breakfast. I went outside. They took me for a walk. I had a really good outside walk. Like that's actually more valuable to me than sending missiles here or getting checks for this or that. I mean, that's all horse shit. I'd rather listen to what the dog's eating.
Why do they have to have the dogs talk like that? Where they have to say like "who man,"
dude, it's the worst.
Like paw.
I love animals, but every time I see like one of those weird cutesy misspellings of who man or floof or this or that, puppo, doggo, I hate animals a little bit more because of that. And I resent people that use this type of language for making me hate animals, because I don't hate animals. I love animals.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Humans are animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah, well, humans are maybe monsters, men and women. They have souls.
Yeah.
I don't know if animals have souls. I mean, you could argue this and that. If something's going to comfort you when you have a fever, or if you're dying, or if they're going to wait at your grave after you die, that's a pretty heavy thing. I mean, that's a really real thing.
Tell you what, not going to be a potato though.
No, it won't be a potato. It won't be an androgyne waiting at your grave for you. That's for sure.
It's true.
Potatoes, man. I mean, potates. I mean, you can eat them, but to dress them up and switch them around, that was never my thing. Yeah, switcho changeo, that was never my bag. Potatoes are good.
I mean, yeah. I think that the punishment here should be okay. I'm just going to say you can remake the account, but show some respect to the animal and talk normal. Because when you talk like this, you're assuming they're stupider than you. You know?
Right.
Just like a child.
Put the dog's actual thoughts up there. Say, my dick sort of itched today, so I licked it, and actually I kind of liked the taste, and I did that for about 30 minutes.
Not gonna lie,
and then I fell asleep.
Yeah,
that should be the tweet.
As long as it's real, it can't, like, an animal isn't some sort of a dumb child. Like an animal, it looks at you like you're alive. I mean, so does a child, sure, but it's not. An animal isn't some sort of a dumbass. Like, animals are not stupid. It's like I mean, a dog isn't necessarily a dolphin, but how do I know?
Well, think about this. Think about how like kittens and puppies just know what to do.
Yeah,
and how long it takes a baby? How many years to figure out how to eat?
Hey, I still don't know how to do it.
I'm 30 years old and figuring out a lot that a 2-year-old puppy or dog might know.
Right.
So
yeah, knowledge versus wisdom.
Yeah, the wisdom of instinct. But we're in a time where knowledge inundates you so much where it negates your instinct and wisdom. There's such a flood of it. It turns you inside out, and you don't even know it's real anymore. That's what it's meant to do. But animals are not subject to that abuse. They do what they do no matter what. I mean, I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure you can train them to do other things, but I mean, naturally, it's going to do things. It's going to nurture. It's not a damn lizard. It's not going to eat its children. It's not going to let them die. It's not going to run away. It's going to nurture them. It's not a lizard.
Yeah.
Right.
Stinking lizard.
Speaking of things that are not lizards, let's get along to our key to the city, which is something nice, something cool, something positive this week that we saw or felt or did. My key to the city this week goes to Review Bra, Report of the Week. He hit 10 years of making videos this week.
My gosh.
And he did a little retrospective. He watched his very first video, and it was almost like this like weirdly sentimental moment where,
right.
you know, I mean, the guy uploads like 10 videos a day.
Right.
I don't keep up, but I do once in a while check in because it's like I don't really, you know, I'm obviously not into fast food as much as he is. I don't think most people are.
I don't have the stomach for it.
Right.
I don't have the ass for it either.
Yeah. And he was watching his video, and it was like he was like watching over his you know, much younger self talking about Monster energy drinks or whatever the hell it was. But yeah, he's been keeping at it for 10 years, and I mean, you know, he's getting where he is without being
it's nice.
Yeah, he's not being angry either. He's talking about something he likes, and he got where he is doing that.
And he tastes
pretty cool.
He tastes it.
Oh yeah, and he's staying real svelte in those suits. I think he's looking great. You know, he keeps the weight off even though he eats you know, 7 Pizza Hut pizzas a week.
It's a real Kobayashi.
Yeah. Charles, did you have a key to the city this week? Something cool, something good?
A key to the city of this week.
Well, just in general, and in general.
Yeah, really anything.
I'm thinking of something good and uplifting and positive. And I mean, the only thing I can think of is just something as of late. Some of the movies that I've been watching that were very heavy, but they turned into some very positive life lessons. I wish I could think of something that was super, super tangible. I mean, I could look at my notes, but everything is absolutely insane. Flying sectional pyramid
I would
with
say,
runes.
Charles, not to even speak for you, but you talked about, you know, your own Twitch stream, your brotherhood of Charles World, you know, everything you got going on, and the people that you got, you know, keeping with you during these times, and everything's confusing and crazy, but you got your crew together. It's something you built, and they came. Yeah,
they came.
And,
I built it. Well, I mean, the line is different now from Field of Dreams. It's different now, but I get what you're saying, and that it really is the truth. Even if I'm stock raving mad, everyone is still there. Even if I'm out of my mind, even if I'm in a bad way, people are still there, and we still get to reality. And the keys to the city will always be the community that is there, that didn't leave, that never lets you down, that is always there, that is there for you, and you're there for them. And it's a really special thing, because you guys understand, and I mean not everybody understands having a community that you can bounce things off of. And if I didn't have it, if I wasn't able to bounce ideas off of, I mean, I would just be writing books of a madman. I'd be writing a diary of a madman, 1,500 volumes of them every day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I completely agree with it.
Yeah, it's a very special thing, and it's really good. And life in general. I mean, like, I'm subject to the whims of the moon, etc., and also to the whims of my own things, the things that I atone for, the things that I think about. You know, we're all subject to that as a man or as a woman. You're subject to those things if you have a soul. You're subject to redemption. You're subject to atonement, and you're subject to things that are so heavy it's beyond description. But you know, it's like my life. There is nothing bad about my life. And it's better than ever, and it hasn't ever been this good this last year. I mean, it hasn't even come close. Even the last 10 years, it hasn't even come remotely close to how it's been last year.
It's great to hear.
So it is the keys.
Well, keys, I jingle those. You know,
you got to.
I would grab mine if I could.
Right,
yeah.
Mine are across the room. There you go.
There you go. Keys to the kingdom.
I can't top that, but mine goes to this video I saw, this documentary that I saw on dubstep that was very, very good. It's called, if anyone's interested in watching it, it's called All My Homies Hate Skrillex. It's on YouTube.
I love triplets. I love triplets. But go ahead, sorry.
It's called All My Homies Hate Skrillex, a story about what happened with dubstep and just like the cultivation of this genre over, you know, sort of like late 90s into early 2000s, and sort of like what it was and what it meant and what it turned into. It's about an hour long. It's very, very well done.
I'll check that out.
Check that out.
Dubstep kind of had its moment in time somewhat briefly, I feel like, you know.
Well, this guy goes into like an insane amount of depth about like what it was and then like the commercial vehicle for it, because it's one of those things almost sort of like trip hop where it was created in the United Kingdom, it was created in Britain, and it was a very sort of like British aesthetic of like, you know, you're in the center of the British Empire, you know, you're in London, and like there's so much to be said about that, but then there's also this weird sort of alienating sort of dysphoria of, you know, walking around these cities late at night and not feeling like connected to what you're a part of and stuff like that. And it really was sort of drawing more influence from like dub reggae and like the way that you would utilize certain effects to like, you know, like create different sound effects and stuff like that.
The stuttering and the grinding.
Right. Yeah. And you would have stuff like that, and it was very sort of down tempo, subdued, and then it sort of started morphing out of control in the sort of way that you know, at the end of the movie Akira, when that Kaneda, right? That's his name. He turns into a big monster. Is that
you're talking Tetsuo? You're talking about, man. Tetsuo. It depends if you're going the streamline dub pronunciation or the new one. Streamline and I forget what the other one's called anyway.
Well, yeah. So Tetsuo turns into this big monster. Well, that's what happened with dubstep. You know, you get this Skrillex guy. He shaves one side of his head. And then he starts making the wah, 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 and all these people that used to like dubstep and listen to dubstep and had this emotional connection to this music genre that really enveloped, like encapsulated what their lives meant to them at that time. You know, you send it overseas and you get the commercialized American version, and it turns it into a punchline in the second Deadpool movie.
Such is life.
Yeah.
Such is life.
I mean, it's a very
that's what happens when you base your life milestones on music, on pop.
Yeah.
So before we get to the final segment, which is our listener voicemails, Charles, if you could plug everything you got, my man, social media, YouTube, any of that good stuff, Twitch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Charls Carroll without the E. I got my YouTube. I mean, look, I like to have different names on each one because I'm an idiot. But my YouTube is youtube.com/CharlesCarroll1. Again, this is without the E, and it's also the numeral. And I also got my Twitter, which is Good Charles, also Charles without the E. And also the home that is organic, that is the ultimate masterpiece. It is charles.world. Again, no E, and it is an organic thing. It's a homebrew thing. I stream on my own platform as well, and I host my VODs and other VODs, of course, and also exclusive content on Charles.world also. But it was also my exclusive streaming platform, one of, I don't know, 2-3 people in the world that do it. So
I was going to say, yeah, that doesn't sound too common, but that's cool. You got that going, man. If you want to get all your Charles needs met, Charles.world.
It is a crazy place. It is a crazy place. And you have to be fearless to do it because, you know, you don't expect everyone to step it up. But, you know, hey, you put it out there and, I got to do it. But I've been really taking it to the next level lately on YouTube, especially. I stayed away for years and years and years, but finally started getting a lot of highlights from mostly my Twitch content, which is, I mean, it's the best on the platform. And we got some highlights on there, which are just madhouse discussions that are just absolutely insane, actually. But they're so insane, they're sane. And, you know, I'm glad that I'm getting active on there because, you know, you stay away from something intentionally, you make a big mistake. You make a big mistake when you do something like that. So I'm active. I am just active.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned it last time you were on the show as well. But you and Andrew Ruse have worked on some good videos.
And Bombstrap. And there's some big Bombstrap stuff in the works right now also. Oh, absolutely. Awesome. Andrew is, I mean, he's the greatest. He's the greatest living director and editor
his
in
stuff
history.
Is incredible.
Oh my God, absolutely. And we'll be working on some Bombstrap stuff coming out. And also, it's because there's been such a long window of trying to get a lot of stuff done. I mean, I don't want to complain, but there's a new show coming out that I'm making with a bunch of other people like Eric Hayden and Andrew. It's called Subterranean.
Awesome. Okay.
Because no one else.
Sounds cool.
I mean, who else is making any good comedy? I mean, I'm sure there are people, but I don't know. I don't know of any.
Just us.
Yeah. You guys do. and when you got big things, I mean, it's just absolutely insane. I mean, when you lock down John Mouse coming in with the score, I mean, that's a big deal.
Oh, awesome.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, you got him on there too.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I haven't even talked about this to anybody yet. So this is the first.
Exclusive.
This is exclusive, actually. Yeah,
that's awesome.
100%. This is exclusive.
Well, I'll be looking forward to that. That's great to hear, man.
That sounds amazing.
Hell yes, thanks, guys. It's really good. It's really fine, and I just want to keep making more. And I mean, you get demoralized, you get derailed. I mean, blah 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 blah. Anyone goes through that, but you gotta look past that. You gotta keep making things for people and also for yourself, and that's the way it is. So Subterranea. We'll be ripping up some funding for that. We'll be opening like a Kickstarter page for that because it's just not something you can just do on your own.
Right.
At least not me. So it's a thing that everyone's just going to be involved in. But that's going to be happening very, very, very soon. And I'll be announcing some of those things in more ways, like John and things like that. I've just been kind of keeping it close to me because you don't really talk about things until. I'm not going to really talk about that unless the thing is open for funding. It's actually embarrassing. But you get what I'm saying?
Hey, man, well, everybody listening, keep in touch and keep an eye out.
And definitely let us know, and we'll spread that around as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Too, yeah.
Absolutely. You guys are going to enjoy it. And
around,
hey, we'll find a way for you guys to be involved in it. You guys will be in there.
That would be awesome. Man.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
I want all friends involved in that. I want everything in it. But I appreciate the forum on here. I appreciate the brotherhood and the camaraderie. It's really important because the world. I'm not going to say the world is a dark place because it requires your permission to make it dark. And I'm not going to keep repeating that. I'm not going to repeat the doom. I'm not going to repeat this and that. I'm saying it's a place. This world is what we make, and but a lot of times you're sort of tricked into making it bad. But I really appreciate coming on here and just going buck wild, getting really heavy this time.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
But before we'll wrap up the show here. Get to some listener voicemails. If you want to give us a call, leave one at 312-788-7361, or you can always send us an audio file at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. Hit it. There we go. Discord news.
This is the Discord news for this week, bringing you all the news worth reporting from the virtual streets of Neo Chicago.
A conversation about employees not providing value to their company started in #outrage as people slacked off at work to chat on Discord.
The Discord server devolved into madness Monday morning as multiple users pretended to be Slime the Garbage Man, confusing even Fenderbelts and Realtrees himself as he posted a Tuesday edit of Gayfield. Is Gayfield a real comic?
After being absent from the server for most of the week, high off his recent fame, Yosef sparked a lengthy discussion on whether typing KK constitutes female behavior between many members.
Oh my God.
Except himself. Personally, yours truly thinks it is female behavior, but I personally use Okie, which is spelled O-K-I-E, because it's cute.
Okie dokie.
After the first pets were cancelled, Grant changed the Real Politics channel to the much more relevant #Real Porg Lick Tits.
Now we're talking.
They still talk about politics, though.
Also, in Normie Safe Space, pictures of Sesame the Thought Cat have been posted. Fortunately, she does not live with me or Kevin anymore. RIP.
RIP indeed.
We would like to recognize new Discord members, Shorks Morks. Or maybe that's Xiao Mao. Let me know in the comments. And Duo Bomber. Thanks for making good life choices, boys or girls. Let me know in the comments.
This week's Discord news has been presented to you by IoNetrunner, Nico, and Lakembra. Check out Nico's art on Instagram at GothNicoArts, and check out Hardmen Working Hard's newest EP, Flesh, on YouTube.
Wow.
Flesh.
Hell of a promo.
Nice.
Plugs Volume 2.
Seriously.
Where the hell is Yosef?
I don't know. He's been replaced by every other member of the Discord. Maybe this is an ongoing theme.
Like I said, he got his 2 minutes of fame, and he left him. He left the Discord news behind. He's like, I got on the show. I was on episode 200. See you later.
He's peaked.
He's gone Hollywood.
Right.
Hollywood Hogan.
Hey, Thought Cops. I have a 2 minutes of hate this week. I hope I'm not stepping on any future sponsorship toes here, but
don't say anything bad about Malort.
Samsung is kind of fucking me over. I ordered a phone from them like a month ago, and it was supposed to show up on Monday, but that got pushed back to next week, which is fine. You know, I can wait a week, but just as you guys started recording, it got pushed back another 2 weeks.
What the hell?
And, you know, that's unacceptable.
It is unacceptable.
So my punishment, I guess, is just that they give me that phone for free.
That's a good punishment.
And then I also have a key to the city.
Oh, nice.
That would be the Discord news. It's basically my favorite audio form show out there. So
all right,
if you guys
cut his audio. Cut his audio. That's it. He's done. I was going to say Samsung is not allowed on the program, but now I am opening them with welcoming them with open arms and say this episode is proud to be sponsored for free by Samsung.
With arms wide open.
Oh,
welcome to this place.
Yo, is that a Darmok reference from Star Trek Next Generation?
I think we're doing a Creed thing.
I was talking Creed.
Is that Creed? Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Timbo with arms wide open. Oh, you're talking about Scott freaking what was Scott Stapp?
Scott Stapp.
Scott Stapp, the guy got a bottle smashed over his head by 311.
Wasn't there also like a weird sex tape thing with him too?
Even
which
Dave
is weird
Grohl
because he does
or
like
something?
a Christian. Another guy, not Dave Grohl, but I can't remember who. Doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter.
I mean, they got to do it. I mean, that's you got to have a tape on you. You don't get the stardom. I mean, that's just the way it is.
You don't get the record deal.
Yeah,
that's
true. And when it's your turn in the script to get humiliated, then it's your turn. Especially if you're Christian. Well, allegedly, I don't know anything about it. I mean, Creed, the first album, freaking slaps, man. I mean, that shit was crazy. What's that, 97? First Creed album, man, was absolutely psycho.
Yeah, I think they're going to have a comeback this year. We'll see.
He better get stabbed. Sex tape. God.
Good evening, Doc Cops. I, Leo the Incredible, calling you once again.
Welcome.
Hey.
It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I hope it's felt the same. Although slandering me as Kelsey Grammer last time, I don't know, boys. I genuinely don't know.
Fraser's coming back.
My problem this week would be office wallflowers. They're my absolute hate. To keep it short, for my work, I'm issued everything short of a gun to get my job done. My partner in crime rolled over in bed incorrectly, separating his shoulder from his arm. He's out 6 weeks.
Jesus.
Need a new partner. Only have one person in the office to back me up. The office wallflower. Shows up to work in open-toed shoes, no socks, pants that only come up to the ankle.
He's got his toes out.
And asking her to carry 50 pounds, gentlemen. I'd rather pull my own teeth out and say I won't cry. At least it wouldn't be a lie. Nonetheless, can't stand them. I hope you all feel the same when somebody comes in as a backup and absolutely cannot fit the job. That's all I have today, gentlemen. I wish your show success, and you gentlemen a fair evening.
Thank you, Leo.
Excellent.
And I don't know what to do with those tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
He didn't do it this time. We asked for that. He didn't give it to us, but that's fine.
Guy had a bit rate to him.
Like he said, people who had a sub in for the job. Of course, there's no substitution for the Thought Cops, Kevin and Grant.
That's true.
That's not the case for the Discord news. Of course, they can just put in whoever they want. Apparently,
yeah.
Not that I'm trying to start. I'm not trying to start a feud or anything, but people are doing that for us, I guess. Saying that they're better than us, in more words or less. But there's no substitution for the real thing.
No,
truly.
No, there's no substitution for the authority.
Mm-hmm. Which I guess would be us.
Yeah, the authorities.
Allegedly.
Hey, fellas, I got 4 or 5 words that I think if we just stop using them, the world would be a better place.
Okay.
First one is incel, because that just means man that I don't like. 2 is gaslighting, because that just means someone lied to me now, I guess. third is gatekeeping. That apparently means telling someone they're wrong about something. 4, emotional labor, because talking to your friends when they're, upset sometimes is not what that means.
She makes a good point. I think Charles, the first episode you were on, you were ranting and raving about the word incel and about how it's doing violence unto the self and how it's separating people from their very own existences.
Any further thoughts on her list here?
Oh, those are very, very wild words. Those are very militarized words. That's how you can sort of categorize these. If they're militarized against you, you know that you kind of should perhaps avoid using them lest you contribute to a military campaign against yourself. And those all really fit the bill, whether it be the gatekeeping. I mean, unless you're Zool, unless you're the keymaster, you can be the gatekeeper too. But those things like incel, I mean, it's not like everybody has to have sex at freaking 12 years of age. That's not the truth. But to specifically attack people emotionally and sexually like that is sexual violence, and sexual violence is something that is a very serious weapon that not many people are going to take seriously because it's been sort of lightened and memed and all that. But we were talking about this a minute ago, how destructive and how insane it is to denigrate people on their lifestyle. It's absolutely insane. Well, I mean, certain lifestyles are actually to be denigrated, but others are really a weapon to close you off from the rest of everybody else.
Again, couldn't say it better myself. Not possible.
It's insane.
It is quite impossible. I would agree.
Indeed.
Only the military could put things against you like that, and people go with it. And it's absolutely insane. And to label people or to call them names is just it's antithetical to coming together. It creates fractions. It creates divisions. It creates people that hate. And there's no more room left in the world for that sort of thing. There's just no more room, and I will not contribute to hate or denigration or division. I just will not do it. I won't do it anymore. And it's not like I have in the past, but I just will not do it any less. I will not. I will not do it anymore any less.
That's a great note to end the episode on. Charles, thanks a ton for coming back on the show, man.
Yeah, really appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, our pleasure. And thank you to everybody who gave us a call. If you want to leave your own voicemail, it's 312-788-7361. Or, of course, you can send an audio file to thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to support the show, throw us a few bucks over at patreon.com/thoughtcops for all kinds of bonus content and goodies and stuff like that. You can come hang out in the live chat like all the folks who were here with us tonight. We'll see you next time.
See you, Space Cop.
Thanks again, guys. God bless.